Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Erick Coughlin. This is the show Just My Thoughts. Today's thought tracker is shut up the haters for Nicola Vucevic. What? I said let's shut up the haters for Nicola Vucevic for far too long since the offseason and pretty much all year before the offseason even began. There's too many people slinging too much hate to my main man Nick, and uh, and so this is what we're going to do. We're going to break down the actual trade it took to get Nikola Vucevic from the beginning, right? Right. That's what we had to do. What we had to do was give up Wendell Carter Jr. We sure did. We had to give up Otto Porter Jr. We sure did. Then we had to give up two future first round draft picks. That's absolutely right. Now, out of those future draft picks that we had to give up to begin with, we found out that one of them turned out to be Franz Wagner. Now, who's the other guy? We don't know yet. We won't know until this draft, but this draft concludes that trade. What? I said this year's draft concludes the trade of the Nikola Vucevic trade out deal with Orlando. Now, let's break that down. So this happened 2.5 years ago at trade deadline, right? Right. So 2.5 years. Let me tell you what Nikola Vucevic has done, which I've kind of already done that. That's what started this to begin with. I wasn't even going to do this podcast, but the more haters want to hate, the more I realized that this needed to be done. I've got to stick up for my main man Nick. So 2.5 years. Read these stats: 3,294 points. So pretty much 3,300 points. All right, in 2.5 seasons. All right, listen to this: 2,700 rebounds in 2.5 seasons. 603 assists in 2.5 seasons. 153 steals in 2.5 seasons. And people say, oh, Nikola Vucevic, he don't even play defense. Oh, he's so stupid. Oh, he looks retarded. How come he looks lost? The man looks lost and's got 153 steals in 2 years? Give me a fucking break. And to top that, 148 blocks. So for a man that gets ragged on only getting rebounds, he sure does have a shit ton of points, in case you didn't notice. He does have quite a bit of rebounds, in case you didn't notice. But for a man who is claimed to don't know how to spell defense in 2.5 seasons, has come up with 153 steals and 148 blocks, and this man doesn't know how to play defense? Do you even watch basketball before you talk shit about an obvious great player? Obviously great player. Oh, and by the way, I've already stated this on the show. I'm going to state it again for all the newcomers on the show. Nikola Vucevic is the only center that played 82 games last year. What? Nikola Vucevic in the NBA is the only center that played 82 games last year. And in 2.5, excuse me, in 2.5 seasons that he's been a Chicago Bull, you know how many games he's played? How about 181 total games? Soak all that in, because here's where it gets interesting. So, if you followed up and you do your history, you'd find out that Orlando didn't even care about Otto Porter to begin with. I think he stuck around for a year, and the very next year they traded him off. I'm pretty sure you can stat me on this. Pretty sure Otto Porter's not in Orlando. If he is, I'd be very, very surprised. But so let's just break down essentially what the trade really was for so far. So it was really for Wendell Carter, Franz Wagner, and this year's first round draft pick. I am going to give you these numbers from Wendell Carter. Then I'm going to give you these numbers from Franz Wagner. And then I'm going to combine these numbers and compare them to Nikola Vucevic. Now, this is a two-player versus one-player comparison. Keep that in mind. 2-on-1. Here we go. Wendell Carter, a total of 141 games since this trade. A total of 2,057 points since this trade. A total of 1,338 rebounds since this trade. A total of 338 assists since this trade. A total of 83 steals since this trade. And a total of 94 blocks since this trade. So let's just do one versus one real fast. Real fast. 2.5 years against 2.5 years. Let's go with steals. 153 or 83? I take the 153, bud. Let's go with blocks. 148 or 94? I take the 148, brah. Okay, let's go with points. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go with points. 2,057 or 3,294. Again, I'm taking Vooch, big bros. And how about assists? Let's look at assists. 338 or 603. Do you see the comparison? Nikola Vucevic doubles everything that Wendell Carter tries to bring to the table. And the big gap factor is 40 fucking games. Are you serious? We need people on the court. Nikola Vucevic has been on the court. Thank you very much. Now let's flip the script. Let's do some Franz Wagner action. Now take this in mind. He came as a draft pick, so the half season isn't there. This is 2 full seasons. Okay? Let's peep these stats. Franz Wagner in 2 full seasons, he's played 158 games. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. As a rookie, he played 76 games, pretty good. And then last year, he came out and balled his ass off and played 81 out of the 82. Not too bad. Pretty consistent, pretty reliable. Franz Wagner's points in 2 seasons, 2,682 points. His rebounds, 685 in 2 seasons. His assist, 514 in 2 seasons. His blocks, 51 blocks in 2 seasons. His steals, now this is what I like, I'll say that. 145 steals in 2 seasons. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So Franz Wagner, it might have been okay to draft him. But let me ask you this as a Bulls fan to Bulls fan. NBA, fan to NBA fan. Basketball lover to basketball lover. Let me ask you this question. Can Franz Wagner beat Kobe White one-on-one? Or does any of these numbers that I had just mentioned compete to Kobe White? Nah. Probably not. I didn't do that comparison. I did the trade comparison. As a matter of fact, now I'm interested to do the whole Kobe thing. We will prove Kobe's worth one day on the show. Mark my words. Okay, let's combine these numbers. A 2-player versus 1 player in a 2.5-year span. All right, so we got the Wendell Wagner versus Vucevic. Let's go Wendell Wagner's points. 4,739 points. 2 guys. All right. Nikola Vucevic, again, 3,294. So what did he really give up? He really give up, what are we calling this? 1,400 points. So that's 700 points apiece. It takes 2 guys to outscore Vooch, by 700 points. Come on. I said that right. 1,400 points, but 700 double. Come on. All right, now let's look at this. This is very interesting. 2 guys, 1 guy. Boards, 2,023. Vooch by himself, 2,007. So pretty good. I know this because I played basketball all my life since about 10 years old till about 35. If someone was to call me up right now and say, hey, yo, you want to hit this court? I'd be hitting this court and I'm 35 years old. That's the kind of guy that I am. All right, so understand this. To win a basketball game, you have to get rebounds, you have to get steals, and you have to get points. 1 man can out-rebound 2 guys, and you tell me this is a loss? I don't think so, and I'm not even done. All right, assist. 852 assists compared to 603 assists. What's that? What's the gap here? Let's go 850 to 600, 150. So 75 per. Just think about that. 75 per. If you can't already smell what I'm cooking, Vooch by himself is almost damn near as good, or if not better, than both of these dudes. We're still not done yet. Let's talk about combined steals. 228 combined steals for the Wendell Wagner. Solo steals by Nikola Vucevic. 153. 228 to 153. What's the gap? 70, less than 80, 70, 68. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? All right, blocks. Listen to this factor because people say Nikola Vucevic doesn't play defense. Combined with two players in 2 seasons, 145 combined blocks. Nikola Vucevic, without any, combined nothing, it's him by himself. 148 blocks. So, Nikola Vucevic damn near almost out-rebounded both of them. He outblocked both of them. He almost went toe-to-toe in points. He almost went toe-to-toe in assists. He almost went toe-to-toe in steals. And this is a guy that is premiered. Let me break this down. Nikola Vucevic is an offensive weapon. Nikola Vucevic is premiered as a point center. That's right. He doesn't bring the ball up. But by the time Kobe or Io or Alex Caruso or even Zach LaVine himself, no matter who brings up that ball, Vucevic floats up to the top of the arc. He gets the ball instantly, and then the offense spreads out, which means he's practically a point-guarded center who's not supposed to be playing defense. That looks like, by the numbers, what do they say? Numbers don't lie. By the numbers, these numbers don't lie. As an offensive threat, Nikola Vucevic is our third best defender, period. Third best defender. Actually, it could be argued in the last 2 seasons, put him with Zach and DeMar and Alex and Andre and put all these dudes together. Since the rebuilding program, this man is our best defender. He also is our second best offensive threat, and he's a guaranteed rebounding stud. And people say, we lost this trade. We lost this trade. Why? Why? Because we don't know who that rookie's going to be this year? Because Otto Porter didn't do nothing for those guys. And if you listen to anything that I've said in the last 15 minutes, these two, Wagner and Wendell, could barely scratch the surface of Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic is so good. People say, oh, you got to think about the future. That's why Nikola Vucevic is so good. What if we've already landed our future? People are talking about these draft picks like draft picks mean something. Let me tell you something. Our future relies on Kobe White. Our future relies on Ayo Dosunmu. Our future relies on Zach LaVine, who just signed a 5-year extension. Our future relies within those players. And by keeping Nikola Vucevic around, it allows us to sign all those guys to big-name contracts. Kobe White's probably going to sign a 4-year, $50 million deal. Ayo Dosunmu is probably going to sign a 3-year, $20 million deal. Nikola Vucevic, if we're lucky, will sign a 4-year, $80 million deal. And because he loves us so much, he might give us that player option that Andre Drummond gave us this year, that Derrick Jones Jr. that gave us this year. We don't need draft picks because of these player options, because people want to believe in that it's so fun to play with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and who? Nikola Vucevic. This is a rebuilding program, and we have a shoot now and ask questions later head coach. Let me tell you guys something. As a Chicago Bulls fan, all right, and as a basketball fan, as a guy who loves the game, I tell you this. Alex Caruso has no business playing power forward. But if you look up everything he's done this year, he's done everything as a power forward. Now, DeMar DeRozan can probably hold his own in the paint. I'm not saying he can't. But again, DeMar DeRozan is a small forward. Derrick Jones Jr. is a small forward. Okay? The only true power forward we have on this team is Patrick Williams. So you guys want to talk about all this trash about how Nikola Vucevic doesn't do so much. Maybe you should ask yourself, what are you even watching? Because I think he does a little bit too much. I think sometimes Zach LaVine needs to step up his game. Sometimes. I'm not saying I don't like Zach. I think sometimes DeMar DeRozan needs to step up his game. I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying sometimes. How many times late in the games you see DeMar DeRozan jumping into the defender instead of trying to take a real shot? That happens all the time. Do you ever see Vucevic do that? Hell no. When Vucevic takes his shot, he takes it like a man, high poised, pressure don't matter, straight, looking good, forms beautiful. He is the heart and soul of everything that the Chicago Bulls do. So it's easy to say, when we're not doing so good, oh, blame Vooch, oh, blame Vooch, oh, blame Vooch. But is Vooch our franchise player? No. Zach LaVine is our franchise player. Now, is Vooch the guy who signed a 4-year, $82 million deal? No. DeMar DeRozan was that 4-year, $84 million deal. Was Vucevic the guy that everybody was screaming, oh my God, I can't believe we got him. Finally, we have a point guard. No, because Vuce is a center and the point guard is Lonzo Ball, who hasn't played almost nothing in 2 years. But everyone wants to blame Vuce. Get over yourselves. This guy is the reason why we have an absolute shot at being successful. Now, what is it going to take? It's going to take a little bit of luck, right? So all these deals have to go down. I've already broke this down, and I'm breaking it down again. We have to keep Kobe White. We have to keep Nicola Vucevic. It could be argued that we don't have to keep Io, but you might want to anyway because of his speed, because of his size, because of his strength, because of his wingspan. He can play small forward. He can play shooting guard. He can play point guard. You don't give up players that can play 3 different positions. You just don't do that, so you keep all 3 of these guys. You let go of Patrick Beverley. You let go of Javonte Green. You let go of Terry Taylor. Hell, you might even consider not bringing back Dallin Terry if you don't want to, but he's under rookie contract. He's coming back anyway. He's under a rookie contract. All right? We have guys that we don't have to have. And then we have guys that we absolutely have to have. And that list of players at the top of the list of the players that we have to have is Nicola Vucevic. He's done it all, guys, and I all broke it down to you. I hope you've been listening to the numbers, because numbers don't lie. If you enjoyed the show, always feel free. Cash at me, Erick Coughlin, #Coughlin Pride. Go Bulls, and have a nice day.